All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. September 24th, we got ourselves a Sunday and a bunch of MLB games on today's slate. We're going to go through each and every game. I'm going to give you my lean or leans on the games, but all my final plays. If you do want to fade me, those plays will be in the pinned comment. Coming off of yet another profitable night. The red nights are few and far between right now, so we gotta stay hot here. We did have one 2 nights ago, so, what have you done for me lately? We're back on the winning train now, but we go 2-1 last night. The Rays and the Orioles cashed their money lines, and then the money line for the Mariners there, that game, they lose 2-0. I like the over in that game as well, so we just didn't have a real beat on that game. I did want to take a send at the Mariners, but yeah, they're probably back on the ban list now. But yeah, guys, we got some Sunday MLB to talk about today. Oh, almost forgot, we also have our ride of the day, which is a bomb ride of the day here, coming in from Jay. Twins and Angels, Nerfy. They almost went the whole game without scoring a run. That game finished at a 1-0 score. So shout out to Jay. Let's pump in some crowd noise. If you guys do want to be the ride of the day, all you got to use is hashtag ride of the day in the comments. And I'm jumping on board with one person's play, and then you guys get a shout out in the next video, win or loss. Now, before we get into this, I do want to say we almost didn't get a video out today. It's a little bit later recording this, but so much going on with football, getting everything ready, getting all the plays ready for football. It's still baseball season, so if we do have any off days kind of closing out the baseball year, they'll most likely be on Sunday. So the consistency in videos and everything will still be there, but don't be surprised if, 2 videos or whatnot for the rest of the year. I'm saying like off days, and those are few and far between here. We even grind when we're on vacation and everything like that. But Sundays can be a little hectic here. And as football season, especially in the beginning of it, we got to prioritize the videos going out. But nonetheless, we are here. We're doing it. And we got game number 1 to jump into today. First, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. Smash it, guys. Hit that like button as well. Get us to 30,000 subscribers. We cannot do it without you guys. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Let's jump into game number 1. Here we got Tampa Bay taking on Toronto. So far in this series, Toronto wins game number 1. Tampa Bay bounces back and wins game number 2. I'm looking at this from an offensive perspective, and I like Tampa Bay in this spot. Batting .289 against lefties in their last 10, 7.3 runs per 9 with a .378 on base percentage. They're going up against Yusei Kikuchi here, who is a lefty. Tampa Bay is pitching Taj Bradley. Both of these guys, in terms of how they've been pitching as of late, I'd throw into a similar boat here. They're having good nights. They have a couple off nights that you'd like to throw out of their recent games, but nonetheless, I think it's going to come down to the offense, and give me the Tampa Bay Rays on the money line in this spot. Right now, the best odds you're looking at right around -118, which honestly isn't all that bad either. In terms of a total, if I think the Rays are going to score a bunch of runs, I guess I have to give a little leeway into the idea that, okay, well, the Toronto Blue Jays now have averaged 6 runs per game in this series, right? So I'll take the over as well. I think this one finishes probably right around, I would say 5-4, 6-4, that type of thing. And for better odds over on BetMGM, you can get 8.5. That's +100 even odds. I like this to be 9+ either way. So I'd probably go for the higher number at this point anyways. All right, next we do have the first of a doubleheader, Washington taking on Atlanta. We don't know who's pitching in either one of these games just yet. I have a feeling Atlanta is going to be heavily juiced in terms of being a favorite. So, yeah, I might get crazy and think like a parlay of Atlanta winning both the games. But you guys know I don't like doubleheaders. Don't like the price tags on either of these games. So, honestly, don't have much to go on here. So, we'll just probably skip this one when it comes to a pick, as well as the second half of this doubleheader. So, apologies there, but, it's kind of fishy. There's really not a side that I like. Obviously, I like Atlanta to win, but with the price tag they're going to be paying, no thank you. All right, well, Boston taking on the White Sox here. I pretty much, I think the way that game went was pretty spectacular. Now, we talked about it yesterday. I liked both pitchers to kind of do their thing. Dylan Cease went 7 innings. Nick Pivetta went 7 innings. The White Sox won 1-0. Now I'm wishing I made that a final play, but we did not. In terms of today, on the mound for Boston is going to be Cutter Crawford. The team is 1-4 in his last 5 starts, but he's not pitching all that poorly. 3.2 ERA over his last 5. Not all that bad. He had a blow-up game against Houston there, too. That's in there. Mike Clevenger going for the White Sox here. I don't totally trust him. He necessarily hasn't impressed me with anything yet, so I think I'm going to lean towards the better offense in this spot. And yes, I think the White Sox offense, you can say, has been hotter, but the Red Sox have a fairly more reliable offense there, and I use that term very, very loosely. This, I can almost tell you probably won't be a final play, but give me the Red Sox here on the money line. -152 actually beats a lot of prices. You can get that on FanDuel right now. Other books are right around the -160s, late -150s, so a little bit of value there. In terms of the total, we're looking at 9. I like like the under again today, but this could just be a volatile series. Like, we've already seen a couple unders hit 3-2 in game number 1, 1-0 in game number 2. These two teams are so kind of up and down or down, and then all of a sudden they'll have shoots of up. Like, I could see this all of a sudden being a high scoring game. So I'm not going to touch the total, but all data and everything like that would point to an under here. All right, guys, before we continue on with the slate, let me shout out Outlier. Actually, we'll just jump into the damn tool. If you have not checked out Outlier yet, now is the time to do so. 7 days free with the link in my pinned comment. Just go do it for free. This is their player prop screen. I love it. If these are two, juiced odds for you, can kind of temper it down to what you'd like. And you can go through and look at the hit rates of every single player. Last 5, last 10, last 20. Say we wanted to dive into this one, right? Jake Berger, under 1.5 strikeouts for today. You can go and see how he's been batting against the pitcher and the side of the pitcher. So him against right-handed pitchers, his K percentage is, a little bit higher. So maybe this is a thing to look at the over. How he's done against Freddie Peralta in the past is 66.6% K percentage. They even go as far as looking at the pitch arsenal for his pitcher that he's going up against, and you can look at it from a pitch-by-pitch perspective. They have so much stuff coming down the pipe as well, guys, or pike, however you want to say it. I've been involved in some of their beta testing and everything. Outlier is the GOAT when it comes to things like this. They have so much coming for football season, so make sure you go check it out, guys. 7 days free with the link in my pinned comment, and you also will, you see after that it's $20, $19.99 per month. After that, it's well worth it. If you can understand that red is bad, green is good, you can profit with Outlier. So go check them out, guys. I've been talking about them for months, and it's because we continue to use them, and they continue to get even better. Seriously, guys, go check out Outlier. A lot of cool stuff I wish I could tell you about coming down the line for them. All right, New York taking on Arizona. We had these odds, and then they've been stripped, at least from what I can see at the time of recording, from most sportsbooks. So I don't know if there's been a change. We know Zach Gallen's pitching for Arizona, which if you can get Arizona as underdogs here, I like them in this spot. Yesterday, the Yankees win 7-1, or was that 2 days ago, right? Because yesterday's game gets postponed. I'll take the Diamondbacks in this spot, trusting Zach Gallen. They've looked okay under him. They won, I think, 2 of their last 3 when he's been pitching. He hasn't looked spectacular. He's striking out a decent amount of guys, but I do think that this is kind of a good spot for him against this Yankees lineup, who, to be completely honest, the offense has not really, impressed as of late. They're batting .228 against righties in their last 10 here. But yeah, something weird's going on, maybe with the fact that it's been postponed and now coming in doubleheader. Whatever the odds come out to be, I do lean Arizona. If they're way too pricey, then they don't have a chance of being a final play. And also, you guys can tell the graphic doesn't look like it normally does because we had to do it manually today. I have a whole automated system for it to flow through, but the games are all junked up today. So apologies for that, but we're still grinding, getting through it here. But we got Miami taking on Milwaukee. Miami does bounce back yesterday. It's kind of like what I thought would happen, right? Like, it's a close game. I think Milwaukee, everything pointed to them being the victors in that game, but Miami lost 16-1 game prior. They have to bounce back to some degree. In today's spot, I do like the Brewers. You're looking at a decent price tag, -130, but I think it's fair enough, and you do have Freddie Peralta on the mound today as well. He's pitched against the Miami Marlins this season. They won 3-1 when he pitched. He went 6 1/3, only 1 earned run, and that was a home run. He only let up 2 hits. One of them being a home run. So I'll take them in this spot today, -130. In terms of a total, it's down at 7.5. It's super, super low, but I get why. We've already seen the Mariners not show up once. Then they scored 5 yesterday. I don't know if the Mariners are able to do that. The Marlins are able to do that against Freddie Peralta today. But that number's so low. I'm on the fence here. Something tells me to go under, but I do think that, the over is probably the play here. I understand why that number's down. You have, by the way, pitching for Miami is Edward Cabrera, who he's actually looked pretty good as well. Not pitching deep into games, but pitching well to start games. So, yeah, it's a tough one, guys. You can tell I'm kind of going back and forth on the total, but I'll lean towards the over because it's a low number. But I see why they marked it all the way down at 7.5. All right, Baltimore gets the win against Cleveland yesterday, and I like them to do it again today. They're going up against Tristan McKenzie for the Cleveland Guardians here. Only 2 starts on the season. Hasn't looked all that great. Going up against Kyle Gibson for Baltimore, who I do like. He's been a little bit rocky as of late, but in the last 3, his ERA has kind of gotten a little bit better. It was like a 3.8 over his last 5. It's a 3.5-ish in his last 3. That's because he had a game in which he let up 3 earned runs only through about 4 innings against Houston. But give me them on the money line today. You can get that for -110 right now. Total sitting at 7.5. I think that's a little too low. I think it's an overreaction to what we saw yesterday as a 2-1 game. I think that, the 9-8 game a couple days ago, or even the 5-2 game, are a little bit more indicative of how this pace is going to go. So give me the over as well as Baltimore on the money line. We had a damn football score here today. We had 13, not really, but we had 13-12 in terms of a game yesterday from these two teams. The Pirates ultimately prevail in that one. Brandon Williamson going for Cincinnati today. We know he's nothing special. He's been consistent, but consistently like meh. Going up against Quinn Priester, who also has been consistently probably worse than meh. So give me Cincinnati on the money line. I'm looking at this from a pitching perspective. When it comes to the offense, the Pirates have been hitting lefties fairly well. I can't admit that. And Cincinnati's offense is starting to slide a little bit, but I do think that Cincinnati has the edge, just a little edge, itty bitty edge of a pitching spot today. So I'll take them on the money line. And obviously Vegas agrees they're heavy favorites. Not minus 180. That's old. They're minus 148 right now. The total sitting at 10.5. Give me the under. We've seen a few games now go up and over 7-5 and then 13-12. Like, give me the under. Return back down to earth. Won't you guys? All right, we'll take the under here. How many times are we going to do it? How many times are we going to say, all right, Houston's going to bounce back here. They're going to win by 2 runs, cover the run line. Kansas City's now won 2 games in a row. And like we showed yesterday, right? Like these games matter for Houston. Not as much as Tampa Bay and Baltimore. Or actually, you know what? It might matter more for Houston because they're fighting for the playoff spot, not just the top spot in their division. So what are we doing here? They got to win today, right? But I'm afraid to bet them. Like I'm not pulling the trigger on them right now. But I do think that, you know, they should cover the run line. They should come out with a little fire under their ass in terms of who's pitching for them. Hunter Brown, he, you know, has been kind of hit or miss as of late, going up against Steven Cruz, who we just know is an opener, right? So this points towards Houston taking one of these games. If not, get out of the playoffs then. You know, like, what are we doing? It's crazy. So give me them on the run line as a lean, but I don't think I can play that. In terms of a total, we're looking at 9 or 9.5, depending on where you're getting it at the books. I like the under if it's 9.5. If it's 9, I'd probably stay away. I could see this being a 5-4 game, which is another reason why I don't think I'm going to have the cojones to pull the trigger on Houston minus 1.5, right? Because if I think it's going to be, it's a good chance, even if Houston wins this, it's going to be a 1-run game, which the win helps them in the playoff race and whatever. But man, I mean, this Kansas City team is molly-whopping them lately. And just for context, the Astros, they have 33 more wins, or 32, something like that, more wins than Kansas City this year. It's crazy. It is crazy. Kansas City's won 5 of the 4 games they've played this year, so maybe they just have their number. Minnesota taking on the LA Angels here. They lose yesterday, 1-0. I think it's a bounce back spot for them today. Unfortunately, the odds are absolutely juiced, so I'd probably stay away from this. I don't mind the under 8.5 either. That's probably my main lean in the game, but we don't know who's pitching for the Angels yet. Joe Ryan on the mound for Minnesota. He has been a little shaky. He's getting out of big jams and everything, pitching decent baseball. Like he's got a 2 flat ERA in his last 5. That's good. His last start wasn't great. 5 innings pitched, 4 earned runs, 2 Cincinnati, 1 home run let up. But I expect him to bounce back today. I think that, you know, I like the under, but obviously I want to know who's pitching for the Angels before kind of stamping that one down as a final play. Cubs taking on Colorado. Cubs have won both games so far in this series, 6-0 and 6-3. They're heavy favorites again today. I don't see why anything would necessarily change. Jordan Wicks on the mound. He's been okay for them. So I lean towards the Cubs. Probably doesn't make it into the final play just because of the odds. And you'll notice, guys, now that, you know, good teams, or I should say like decent teams, are separating from the bottom of the barrel, look at these odds as we're, you know, closing up the regular season in the MLB. Like the Cubs versus Colorado, even middle of the year, would be like minus 170 favorites. Now they're like minus 280. So obviously, you know, it's getting tougher and tougher to bet MLB baseball. I see all your comps and everything, and everyone's right. Like it is getting harder and harder. There's a lot of games that you may, you know, have like a pseudo win just by staying away in a sense. But give me the Cubs here to win this game, but I don't think that they make it into final plays. And in terms of a total, I guess I like the under, but not all that much. You can tell in my voice, this is not a game that I want to spend much time on. But this one I do like. Texas taking on Seattle here. Seattle may have blown my plans. I was hoping to go Texas moneyline game 1, cash that, and then Seattle moneyline game 2, hopefully cash that, which we didn't. You know, Texas wins that one. And then for game 3, I really love Eovaldi going up against Brian Wu today. Brian Wu has been untouchable over his last 2 games, but it was against the Angels and against Oakland. You're walking in facing a Texas team that tagged you last time. 2 innings pitched, 7 hits, 6 earned runs, 24 pitches per inning, okay? I loved the matchup. I love Eovaldi, obviously. If you guys don't know that, one of my favorite pitchers in the league. But now it's like, well, does Texas really sweep Seattle? Like, this is a divisional, like, do they really sweep Seattle? I guess we got to put this game in a vacuum, and that's how we bet it. I'm looking at Texas here on the money line, but I really wish that this series was knotted at 1, so it wasn't like a Texas sweeps Seattle. And to put it even more perspective here, this season, Seattle's only beat Texas once. They've played 8 times already. So it's like Texas does have their number. at some point Seattle's got to win another one, right? Like that's what's hurting. Like the idea of they're going to sweep multiple series in a row is like, damn it, come on, are they really? But you know what, put it in a vacuum, trust the numbers, trust everything. This Texas team, obviously, playing good baseball against righties in their last 10. They're batting average about 50 points higher than Seattle's. It's about 40 higher than Seattle's when you look at it from a last 5 perspective. And Evaldi's a better pitcher than Woo. I'm confident in that. Give me Texas here, minus the 130 price tag. I think you can actually get it on MGM in the minus 120s, which is a good little value. In terms of the total, 9. I'll lean towards the over. I'm just going to stay at a lean, though, because if I like Texas here, I don't mind if Evaldi goes out there and deals. We saw a 2-0 game yesterday. These offenses are better than that, so I could see this being a high-scoring game, but I think that, Evaldi's going to go out there and temper the Seattle team to some degree. Oakland taking on Detroit. A lot of weird things happening here. Oakland's now won 2 in a row in this spot, but Eddie Rodriguez, Erod, starting for Detroit today, and they're only minus 142, so maybe it's a trap. Maybe Vegas is like, hey, proof's in the pudding. Like, look at this. They're winning these games. And Rodriguez hasn't been pitching all that well, but I do like him in this spot today. Oakland against lefties in their last 10, absolutely struggling. 175 through the last 10, only averaging 2 runs per 9 and 1.8 hits per 9. How bad is that? It gets even worse, people, in their last 5. 140 average versus lefties. Now, the thing that I also like in this game is the under 7.5, because I'm not saying the Tiger side of things against the lefty. They're going up against JP Sears. They've been almost just as bad as the A's have against lefties in their last 10 and in their last 5. In their last 5, it's real bad. 152 average. Similar lines here, but only a 240 average in their last 10 against lefties. So they're not trending in the right direction. I could see this being like a 4-1 game where Detroit wins it and it stays super low. So give me Detroit and the under. I probably like Detroit more on the money line, but that total, 7.5, it doesn't look like a big number when you put these two offenses up against it, right? Like usually I'm inclined to take a peek at the over 7.5 because that's the lower totals that we'll get, right? But not with these two teams. That's like a normal 9.5 line for most teams. All right, St. Louis taking on Seattle. St. Louis gets the win yesterday. Ends, did I say Seattle? St. Louis taking on San Diego. My brain's not functioning yet. We've been doing so many things this morning. But San Diego, finally, their win streak comes to an end. I like them to get back on the horse today, but the odds are just way too high. And I've been saying the same thing, guys, for this entire series. San Diego's playing better baseball. I like them to win the games, but they're not good enough to pay the price that you're paying right now, which is a minus 200 and beyond. No, thank you. So I lean San Diego here, but it does not become a final play. I can pretty much guarantee that. Total sitting at 8.5. I don't mind the under here. We've seen both these teams sort of trend in under direction. The Padres have hit the under in 6 of their last 10, and then same thing for St. Louis. So I do think that this could be an under spot, but this isn't the sexiest. Yeah, these MLB teams are sexting. This isn't the sexiest of matchups today. All right, Phillies taking on the Mets. I really wish yet again that we had a better line here for the Philadelphia Phillies, because I do think that they're that much better than the team, but I thought that we'd have some value. Minus 180 here is a little bit too much to pay. Chris Sanchez on the mound going up against Jose Budo. He's actually been pitching well. I want to give kind of the flowers where they are due, but I think that this Phillies team gets to him today. Going up against the righty here. In their last 10, they're batting meh against righties in the last 5 as well. But I just don't think that this Mets team, though they can play them tight, I don't think they're as good as Philadelphia. So, obviously Phillies have won 3 straight in this series. Do the Mets take 1? Sure, but that's because it's really hard to beat a team 4 times, I guess. But if you're looking at this game and when technically who should be the crowned victor at the end of it, it is the Phillies. They're a better team, no question about it. In terms of the total, it's sitting at 9 right now. You can get that for plus 100 if you like the over on Caesars, which I like the value there. We've seen 9, and then 12 in terms of 3 games so far in this series. So I'll lean towards the over. Whether or not it becomes a final play, it is a high number, and these two teams are due for a low-scoring game. But for plus 100, even odds on Caesars, I don't mind it. In our last game on the slate, if you guys made it this far, boy, you are a real one. Go ahead and comment 19, because this is Football Sunday, a jam-packed MLB slate filled with a bunch of bad matchups. My annoying voice. And if you guys made it this far, appreciate the hell out of you. Seriously, you know what? Pumping crowd noise for that. But yeah, go ahead and comment 19. Let me know that you made it this far. There's definitely not going to be a lot of people. So if you're commenting 19, scroll down and see the other people that are commenting and connect and everything, because you guys are the real one, part of the actual Fade squad there. But yeah, let's go ahead and dive into this one. LA taking on San Francisco. My dive is going to go about as far as I can throw it. Lance Lynn on the mound for the Dodgers, going up against Ryan Walker for San Francisco. Walker is just an opener. I like the Dodgers in this spot. They win 7-0 last night. They have all the momentum in the world behind behind them. And they're going to play Colorado after this game. I think they're just going to get this job done and then move on to their next series. San Francisco's definitely looking ahead, playing a San Diego team that's been red hot, so they might kind of sleepwalk through this game in a sense. So give me LA on the money line. Super juice. You can actually get it right now on FanDuel for -190, which is a little bit better than what it opened up at, but nonetheless, I like them. And I don't know if I think I like the under 9.5 here. Some books are moving it down to 9, so I think we're on the right side there, leaning towards the under 9.5. And that is all I have for you guys today. Again, you know what to comment. If I just talked about it, if you were watching at that time, that means you made it to this point. And thank you guys so damn much. It's been a grind, but it's been a grind that I've been loving doing. Like if you don't believe that it's been a grind, go look at any other channel and look at one person doing all of the videos that they're doing. We're putting out 16 plus videos a week. And if you don't believe that, just go check last week. And then on Sunday, you can check, or on Monday, you can check how many videos we've done for this past week. But I love doing it, guys. You guys make it worth it. So I'll catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.